Check it. Check it. Check it out. Check it out.
All right, everyone. Here's the video that Kevin recorded. Our Sugar Dad Chronicles. So sit back, relax, and listen to these wackadoodle stories of his crazy guest at the pop-up candy shop at Hard Rock Cafe. Or, sorry, not Hard Rock Cafe, Hard Rock Casino.
Good evening, everyone. It is... Yeah, I don't know what that is. It is the later in the week, and we mentioned to you about the gig I was doing on, or I am doing on the weekends at Hard Rock, and wanted to give you some information about it to let you know kind of what was up with it and what was going on. So, while we're doing this, I'm going to look through some headpieces that I have. I'm also performing in the Ballet Coppelia with some friends of mine and helping them out with some costuming and headpieces. They're doing Coppelia at Dela Arts Place. My dear friends Mario and Meredith in Cincinnati, and helping them out with some minor costuming and such, which is, I'm kind of like the fairy godmother that comes in at the last minute with little bits and pieces that they need. Or as a director friend of Jerry's always says, the crunchy bits. So I'm working out crunchy bits. So anyway, just to let you know about some of the Sugar Daddy shenanigans, it has been one of the most interesting experiences of my young life to go there and be a part of this situation at Hard Rock. So, let me see. I may refer to my phone because I did take notes. It was that crazy. We did have one. I'm just kind of gonna go at random here. Let me look at this. Is just from last weekend, and things have happened since or before then that were kind of nutty. But let me go back to my notes here. So we had one couple that showed up. Really kind of odd. And so they do this in 3 shifts. They have a shift at, not in 4 shifts, at 7 o'clock, at 8:30, at 10 o'clock, and at 11:30. And each shift runs about the space of an hour and 15 minutes or so. And it's a $30 sale, ticket sale, $30 ticket. And you come in and you get one golden ticket, and that golden ticket gets you a dessert, and then you also get a glass of complimentary champagne that they stick one of those little rock candy things in, and you swirl it around, and it makes your drink sparkle. I don't know about you all, but I don't need my champagne to sparkle. Not that way. I need to sparkle after I drink my champagne. That's what I need to do. So at any rate, so this is happening. This one couple comes in. Oh, I think these flowers are real. This one couple comes in, and they came in at I want to say the last shift of the night. It was really strange. She was dressed in this pink dress, like a light pink, almost schoolgirl dress. She had her hair twirled in 2 little, they weren't exactly Princess Leia honey buns on the side, but they were up top, and they were small, and the rest of her hair was hanging. She had on knee-high socks and a pair of, I want to say white Mary Janes. So I thought, interesting. So this whole evening, he's following her around the venue and was just there watching her, and taking pictures of her doing different things. They have a ball pit. They have things that they can use, characters like their other characters. I'm Sugar Daddy, there's Sweetheart. There's all kinds of, there's Lord Licorice or Baron von Licorice. You can take pictures with, and so that's what they were doing. And it was just really kind of strange because he was almost ogling her the whole night, and it was just really weird. And he looked older than her. The way she was dressed, she looked like she was, maybe 15. And so he kind of just ogled her the whole night, and we were kind of like, oh my God, does somebody need to call children's services? What's going on? I mean, they were obviously both legal because they were drinking. It was just really, really, really strange. So there's another couple, that's one couple. And a lot of the couples, obviously the wives dragged their husbands into this place. Either the husbands owed them big, or there was a birthday involved, or something. Because some of them were dragged in by their teeth. And the husbands were taking all the, I'll take a picture of you with so-and-so, I'll take a picture of you. But they did not want to get into any pictures with anyone or anything. And they were just like, wah, wah, wah. A lot of them were just, some of them were just grumpy old guys. And a few of them were kind of fun, actually. They were just fun. They were there to have some fun. So another couple that came in was, well, I told you about the ball pit people. They come in, they take off their shoes, and they jump into the ball pit. So I don't know about you all, but a ball pit is just a pool full of pink eye as far as I'm concerned. Or with adults, it could be hep B, hep C, something crazy. I never have felt good about a ball pit. So there was that. And there was this one lady that came in one night, and she had on a pair of jeans, and the back of her jeans were like laced. Oh, that's a reminder. They were like laced almost, but there was they were like shoestrings. They were colorful shoestrings of all different colors because it wasn't exactly yarn because they had little shoestring knobs on the end. These shoestrings went all the way up the back of her leg where the crease of your pants would be, across her hinder regions, down the other side, and the shoestring trailed behind her by probably 5 to 6 inches. And so what was she doing? She was yelling and cussing at her friends for stepping on stepping on her clothes. Because, girl, you better not step on my clothes, no, blah, blah, blah. You keep stepping on my... I was like, oh my gosh. So, and I think she had some other accoutrement to match that had shoestrings trailing from it. I was like, okay, so this is a look. Shoestrings everywhere. I get it, I guess. So there was her. There was, there's always the birthday and the bridal people. This one birthday group showed up. The birthday girl was in this black dress that was asymmetrically cut at the hem. And it was interesting because from the hem was hanging these rhinestone sort of cascading pieces from the higher part of the asymmetrical hem. It was off the shoulder over one place, and I just thought, honey, you get one rough sneeze, and we're gonna be back at the Super Bowl several years ago with a particular superstar sister, and there's gonna be some things out and about. So she had pictures, and of course there was another birthday party. And these girls came in and they all decided to wear corsets. No, I'm not talking about medieval corsets. I'm talking about little tiny Fredericks of Hollywood kind of things that laced up the back, and most of their midriffs were showing with these corsets. So I was trying to figure out what this statement was or what was happening with them. So they're taking pictures in the ball pit. They're sending pictures. There's a tub of foamy letters. There's a tub of foamy numbers or shapes. So they were just, and all these things. Take my picture, take my picture. Well, at one point, one of my friends who is also a fellow character, sweetheart, she was like, ma'am, she looked at the girl and she started pulling up, like doing this for her to pull. This woman's corset had slipped. She was 2 nips to the wind. The girls were freeing out. Not that there were many girls, that they weren't that big, but the fact is the girl had nipplage and probably 3 or 4 pictures at this point. And her friends had not told her. And I think they were probably all too lit to have said anything. It was, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, just wow. So there were those girls. And the last one I have to tell you about from last weekend. This lady walks in and she is wearing something that I think she had to heat it up to get it on her body because it was stretched to the max. Of course, from the bottom of her ribs down to the top of her pubis bone was out, so it was midriff out to play. And it was leather or pleather. She had a pair of pleather pants that, again, she was out for the night. So she walks over to me and she says, oh, I want to take a picture with you. And she shimmies up and I'm like, oh, okay, well, come on over. We're instructed to be, it's like Disneyland, but Candyland. So we're the characters that take pictures with people. So she is taking pictures, or we're taking pictures. She said, I want to take a picture of you. So she shimmies on up and I'm getting like complete boobage over here from her. And I'm like, okay, it's not the picture. Her husband is, I don't know where they pre-gamed or how long they pre-gamed, but there was a pre-game situation. So she goes, oh, now get my good side. Get my good side. And she was doing all this posing and blah, blah. So finally she turns to me, she says, oh, can I get dramatic? And I was like, sure. I had no idea what get dramatic mean. Before I knew it, she had hiked her leg up around my hip while I was standing there. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, she took a couple of pictures with her leg wrapped around my hip and she's free and easy and oh. I was like, okay, yeah, you guys have a great night. There's a dance floor on the other side. Yeah, good night, Gisampanakis, God bless. So they shimmied on away. Later on, because we've been instructed to go to the dance floor at times during the night. So I went over to the dance floor at one point, and Miss Dramatic had found her way over there with her husband or whoever he was. And this was when things got a little too far gone. She goes, I went in, that's where the dance floor was. Ooh, I want to dance with you. And she pulls me over and she's, let's take some more pictures. I'm like, oh God. So she poses next to me and just shimmying and sliming up and down. And so finally she says, and I'm not kidding, she says, put your hand on my ass. That is literally what she said to me for this picture. And I was like, wow. Oh, the music's really loud. I didn't, what? Just cheese. And I was like, what? She said, put your hand on my ass. And I was like, what? Touch my ass for this picture. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry. This is not that kind of party. I am not about to get thrown out of here for touching somebody inappropriately. That's a no-go. So she's like, ooh, well, come on, dance with me. And she was I sort of, as she turned around, I backed away and backed away into some other girl. Come party with us, sugar daddy, come party with us. I was like, oh God. So I ended up doing a little step touch on the dance floor. Again, I've had my shoes on at this point for 5.5 hours, I think it was. I was ready to step touch to a seat. So I step touched for a bit to make sure that the touch me lady was out of the way, and I shimmied on toward the door. So they're making us work hard for this gig money out here. And just as the last word, ladies, I can appreciate a good sense of fashion. I can appreciate a desire to look a certain way and come across a certain way. But I'm going to have to talk to you. If you have weave in your head, you have to understand that weave will soak up, I don't know, whatever odor you've been around, that weave soaks up. So I've had a few of them hug me up next to them and put my nose right next to the weave. And I'm going to tell you, it has made me wonder where some of these people are in their daily life with this weave in their hair. Sometimes it smelled like, well, some of it was very herbal weave, if you get my drift. Some of it was just, I'm like, this smells like some kind of sweat. Like, I don't know what was happening, but you got sweaty. And then others, it just downright stank. And I'm just like, girl, you need to either wash this or change it. Do something. So, at any rate, so those are some of the Sugar Daddy Chronicles. I'm sure I'll have a few other stories. And there are the ones that come in and they will pay all this money for a ticket. They'll walk through, they'll take a few pictures, and they'll leave like within 15 minutes of getting there. I mean, groups, whole groups. So you think a group of 7 or 8 people that paid $30 a piece to get in, and they stay for 15 minutes and then they're gone. And I was kind of like, Oh, last couple of the night, my favorite couple ever over the whole month. I call them the Shroom couple. They come in and they're all happy-go-lucky, just breezing in. And the guy of the couple stops about 4 feet away from me. And the girl stops 2 feet behind him, and they're just staring at me. And they're staring at everything. Because it's decorated really interestingly. If you've seen my pictures, I have a background that's like this blanket of cotton candy. That same batting is sprayed pink, and it's over all of the light fixtures in the room. So it really looks like an interesting Candyland. So this girl is sitting there staring, and the guy's like, we kind of are not sure what we're supposed to do right now. But wow, we're just really not sure what to do right now. And he's like, I think I know what to do, but she's probably had a couple of shrooms too many and is not sure. So do we take pictures with you guys? Or so I didn't know it, but Baron Von Licorice had walked up behind me. And apparently this girl was terrified of Baron Von Licorice because of he had a prosthetic nose. And she's like, I think I'm okay with you. I think I'm okay with you. It's not a full body face or full face mask. So I'm not totally terrified of you anymore. So he's like, okay, that's good. What are we doing here? So it's like, let's just take a picture and let them move on. So they take the picture and then they skipped away and dove into the ball pit. Literally just nesty plunge into the ball pit. I was like, oh, they're going to be in there a while. So they finally got out and they went back to Lord Rick. The Baron Von Licorice character he has the Licorice Lounge, which is the dance floor. So, and I have to stand up for this. So Shroom Couple goes back to the dance floor. And the way that it's set up, it's a room that's sort of red lit. And the floor has lights underneath the floor panels. So they were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So there they are, like, not sure what planet they're on. And the guy runs up to the dance floor and he grabs Baron von Licorice and says, hey, does the floor do? And so my dear friend Sean was like, he was trying everything he could not to just pass out laughing. He was like, I think I know what you're asking. He said, but no, the floor does not do. And he was tapping his foot on the floor to see if it would do. He was wanting to know if the floor panels lit up when you stepped on them. So they sort of danced and laid on the couch and danced and tried to make the floor do. And then they literally skipped away. Skipped out of the event. I turned to the sweet tart of the night and I said, girl, my only question is, how did they get here at 11:30 at night? Because if they drove, all the Mollies are in danger out there, girl. But I was like, but I can't imagine them getting a ride app going if they were that toasted. Because, I mean, what are they seeing when they see the graphics on the screen? It was a lot. It was a lot. So anyway, I'm going to put these headdresses together for my friends, and you all have a wonderful rest of the evening. And this may be divided into 2 videos. I don't know, because there was a lot to tell. So anyway, I will talk to you soon. Ciao for now.
Okay, so that was a lot. So this has been a very special episode of Out and About with Kevin and Jerry, except it's not Out and About. This is Kevin's Sugar Daddy Chronicles. Tune in on Monday for our regularly scheduled, I can't even say that, regularly scheduled program. Oh, my stars. Regularly scheduled episode of Out and About with Kevin and Jerry. Kevin has actually been gone all week. He's coming home this evening. So I don't know what we'll do for our video. Maybe just recap his week. My week was pretty boring. I just worked and came home. Went to the theater a couple times to help. But so thank you for watching Sugar Daddy Chronicles. Sugar, he'll yell at me if I add an R. Sugar Daddy Chronicles. And we will see you on Out and About with Kevin and Jerry.
Check it out. Check.